जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
जो भी अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह धन किसी का है दिया।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
मेरा है यह लेने वाला कह उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा है यह देने वाला मैं उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी। बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर। जय कपीसति लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा। अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी। कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा। कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे। कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर। राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया। राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा। विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे। रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए। श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई। तुम मम प्रिय भरत कई सम भाई। सहस बदन तुमरो जस गावे, अस कही श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कही सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. Let me at the outset bow down to my gurus. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A warm welcome to all sadhakas who have assembled here for the interpretation session of second of 3 parts of 13th chapter named Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. We all are really blessed to be associated with Geeta Parivar. We start our session with prayer. Prayer is considered to be an integral part of our culture, and it is an expression of our devotion. And today, Sandhya Bhavaskarji from Pune, a homemaker, is going to recite the prayer. Didi loves to read and sing and is doing seva as technical assistant. Didi joined Geeta Parivar in August 2021. Let's invoke the blessings of Lord Krishna. Sandhya Didi, please.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi. Thank you Didi for that melodious prayer. Now it's time for Deepa Prajwalan. Light symbolizes knowledge. Knowledge removes ignorance just as light removes darkness. Hence we light the lamp to bow down to the knowledge as the greatest of all forms of wealth. Yeah. Didi, please. One second. Actually, I have not introduced. One second. Yeah. May I request Geeta Agarwalji from Mumbai to do the honors. Didi joined Geeta Parivar in January 2021 and she's a law graduate and B.Ed too, and doing seva as a trainer, tech translator, tech trainer and mentor. Didi, please. I'm sorry for the goof up, yeah.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you for a devotional and beautiful Deepa Prajalan, Didi. Now, some information. From today, Geeta Parayan Yajna has started. Yet another initiative by Geeta Parivar. You all might have seen the message in your groups. It started at 7 a.m. today with Hanuman Chalisa recital and Niyas and 18 Geeta Vritis reading each chapter, and it ended with Aarti and Hanuman Chalisa recital. It was a beautiful function. From tomorrow, every day except Sunday, one chapter would be recited at 6:30 a.m. by Geeta Vritis and Hanuman Chalisa recital 5 times. In 3 weeks, 18 chapters would be finished. Request each one to be present and be blessed, so that you can also read every day. You can read as well as learn as well by heart. So then another, I would like to inform all the participants that you may ask questions once the session is over. Raise your hands only after the sessions, please. Now it's time for the most anticipated part of this session. Our speaker for the day is senior trainer of Geeta Parivar, Shraddha ji Raodeo. She is a native of Nagpur and now residing in Hyderabad. Didi is an electronic engineer and has a postgraduate diploma in IT management. She has been associated with Nagpur Geeta Parivar and joined as a co-trainer in online Geeta classes since August 2020. Didi is in various teams in Geeta Parivar and is an L4 trainer too. Over to you, Didi.
Am I audible, Didi?
Yes.
Yes, very clearly.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mala Didi. A very warm welcome to the session, all of you. Let us begin this session by remembering Krishna ji and Param Pujya Swami ji. Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Pathaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayalina Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Muninam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaധ്യായിനിം Amba Tvamanusandradhami Bhagavadgītā Bhavatveṣyam. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Om. So a very warm welcome to the session again. We have been through first part of this session and we are going through a very interesting chapter, the Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. And in the last session we have seen Shri Krishna has introduced Arjuna to a deeper knowledge. The terms, two terms that he has introduced are Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Kshetra, he has told that Kshetra is referred to as this body that we reside in, and Kshetrajna is the one who has the knowledge of this body, who understands that the body is Kshetra, the one who is aware of all these terms, who is aware of this knowledge is the Kshetrajna. And Shri Krishna has also added that the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna is the real knowledge. So we have seen how some characteristics of Kshetra, Kshetrajna. See, sometimes it becomes difficult, after giving all these 12 chapters of knowledge, such deep knowledge, all these 12 chapters have lots of secrets in it. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga. Sometimes this question comes to know that why do we need these terms? What is the importance of understanding the terms Kshetra and Kshetrajna? What is it that makes this chapter so important? We have to understand this. To understand this, one small incident I'll narrate to you. Once two people, a father and his son, were on a journey. And while they were on this journey, their vehicle broke down near a farm, and they were baffled as to what can they do? How do you get out of this situation? It was a remote area. There were no mechanics available around. So they were wondering, what can I do in this situation? And while they were trying to figure out what was wrong with the vehicle and fix it, they noticed that a person was working in the farm. They requested him, can you please see? See, he said, there is no mechanic available nearby. I have very limited little knowledge about the vehicles. Let me see what can be done. He opened the bonnet of the car and just looked around, observed the machine for some time. And he had a hammer in his hand. At one place, he just knocked with the hammer, a stroke he gave with the hammer. And when he did that, he said, okay, after this, please try to turn on the vehicle. They tried and it worked. They're very happy. So he said, okay, they asked him, how much should we pay you for this? So he said, pay me 500 rupees. Now these people are like, just for putting one stroke, just for one stroke of hammer, you'll charge us 500 rupees. You'll take advantage of our situation. He said, no, for just the stroke, only 100 rupees. But where to put that stroke, for the knowledge of that, I'm charging you 400 rupees. So where do we have to strike the right note to attain Shri Bhagavan? Where do we have to strike the right chord so that our bhakti gives us its fruits? The understanding of that comes from Kshetra, Kshetrajna, from the knowledge of this Kshetra and Kshetrajna. That is the importance of this chapter. So where to strike the right chord, where we have to strike, what is it that we have to understand so that our devotion, see, if we keep doing Ram, 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 ultimately we are going to reach where we have to reach. But how much time is it going to take? Is it going to be in the right direction? Doing Ram, Ram, and when on the other times you are not behaving like what a devotee is expected to behave, then it is not going to help us. So most of us are also aware of the story of King Parikshit and Bhagwan Shukdev Maharaj. What had he told? He had in the end, after finishing the 7 days Bhagavad Katha, he asked, what is it that you feel now, Parikshit? He said, my fears are gone. My fears of death are gone. So whatever knowledge we are going to get now, it is going to set us on the right path of liberation. So this is the importance of Kshetra, Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. And in this journey, we had seen some definition of what. First, we had understood what is Kshetra and Kshetrajna. We had also seen some characteristics of the Kshetra, that is the body, how it is made up of 36 elements. The characteristics of Kshetra we have seen in the 5th and the 6th shloka. And we were in the middle of doing something very important, that is the characteristics of a jnani, of knowledgeable person. While we are trying to understand the characteristics of knowledgeable people, the jnani people, we have to understand that these characteristics, the whatever characteristics, properties of the knowledgeable people we are seeing, are going to be what? They are going to be the means of us to achieve our destination. See, if I have to reach somewhere, I have to catch an appropriate train and reach my destination. So these understanding these characteristics is going to be my train, where in this, which is going to take me in the direction of my destination. Having understood this, let us just recollect what was the lakshan, what were the characteristics that we had seen last time. The very first one, amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa krantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham stairyam atma vinigraha. We had seen this important shloka, first set of characteristics we had seen in the last session. And continuing with this important description, Shri Krishna is describing to us the next shlokas. Indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacham janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Very important characteristics. What Shri Krishna is telling, that a seeker, a sadhak, should have what? Vairagya means. Some people have a misconception about what is Vairagya. What people understand Vairagya is taking sannyas, leaving everything and going. That is not Vairagya. The word Vairagya means absence of any attraction or attachment. Once a sadhu was having food at some place, at a place of his follower, and another person came and he saw the sadhu is eating nicely puran poi, all the sweet things and everything. He said, "You are a sage. You are not expected to enjoy all these worldly pleasures." He said, "See, there is a difference between what taking these worldly pleasures, and another one is getting attached to this worldly pleasure." What happens with us? We eat one rasgulla. For 5 days we keep thinking about it. It was so nice. You go to a birthday party. Arey, wahan jo khana khaya tha na. Arey, uski shaadi mein jo khana khaya tha na. We'll remember it forever. The food that we had. So what happened? What is it? We get attached to whatever we have enjoyed with our senses. This is not the case with the sage. He says, I am having it because my body needs food. Whatever is available, I am having it, but not getting attached to it. So I will not remember this food forever and ever and think about eating it forever. We have to realize all these enjoyments are very short term. So what Indriyartheshu. Indriya is our senses. What we have to do, whatever are the objects of enjoyment from our senses, we are not attached to those objects. We are, so Vairagya means absence of attraction or absence of attachment to something. That is Vairagya. It does not mean keeping away from it. This one thing we should very clearly understand. Many people think Vairagya means staying away from something, staying away from delicious food, staying away from everything. No, it means even though sometimes we are bound to have it, okay? Not having any attachment to this, taking your mind from the inappropriate attachment to the appropriate direction is what is Indriyartheshu Vairagyam. And then very important, Anahankara. Anahankara hevacha. Many people have this, I have done this, I have done this. This abandoning the thought of I is the feeling of what? anahankara. We identify ourselves too much with the worldly concepts, like suppose here only if I say I am giving the vivechan, ideally not. It is somebody, this is a Sukshma Upasthiti of Swamiji which makes us do this. Sometimes we end up, doing so many different things, but it is not just us. This is being done by the grace of God that we fail to recognize. We should always realize that the only power is that of the God. When this complete sense of surrender comes, then we reach the state of this anahankar. And practically some people feel this is very difficult. Now what happens is, down here also little in depth we have to see what is this anahankara. Sometimes people say, okay, I will not have this feeling of I. I'll give renounce of certain things. So I did this for my children. I gave up on this. I have not seen movies for 5 years so that I can focus on the studies of my children. But mentioning this everywhere, that is also being attached to it by continuously mentioning this. How should this anahankara be? The feeling should not be there, and its mention is also nowhere. There is a very beautiful thing in our, we cite many examples and we are not aware of it. That is the why it is real anahankara. There is a small incident about one very great man. In the times when respected Rajendra Prasad ji used to be the president of India. At that time, once he wrote a letter to a great person, and he wrote down to him that I want you to, I want you to consider this. We are selecting you as a candidate for Bharat Ratna. See, such a important award. We have selected you for this position of Bharat Ratna, and we want to give this award to you. This great person wrote back to him saying, I am not qualified for this. Whatever I have done so far is not for this, is not to get any awards. Whatever I have done, it is something that I have got from Ishwar, from God, and I have just returned back the seva to him. There is nothing that belongs to me. I do not wish to get this award, and you don't even need to mention this entire thing to anybody. He specifically told, Mr. President, do not mention this to anybody. And because he didn't want it to be known, we also don't know in our history books nowhere this is written. This great person was Hanuman Prasad Ji Poddar. If you Google about him, if you read about his great work, you will be very surprised of what an educated, what a knowledgeable, intellectual personality he was. But when he was being conferred an award, he completely refused it and also requested that there is no need to mention about this. This is anahankar, complete surrender, that not attaching our own identity with the task that we are doing. And further, Shri Krishna mentions very important thing. This entire one line is one word. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. The perception of evil. We all know that this world, you all have said it in earlier chapters, what is this dukkhalaya? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This world is a dukkhalaya right from the birth. When a small baby is taking birth, it is not a very easy process, neither for the mother, neither for the baby. And as they start growing up, what thought of the death also is always around us. Okay, something kisi ko kuch ho jayega. We know one day each one of us has to leave this world. This particular body we have to leave. The thought of death is always also there as we start growing up. From this moment of birth till the moment of death, in between what comes? Jara, Vyadhi. What is Jara? The process of aging. Vyadhi, when a person is aging, it comes with a natural progression of what disease is, natural decay of the body. Every day we all know our body is aging, it is deteriorating. Understanding that this entire process, entire lifetime, right from the birth till the death, is a process full of what? pain. It is a process of suffering. So one who has an understanding of this is a knowledgeable person. The dukkha doshanu darshanam. He understands what are the ill effects of this entire life. Then that is why he doesn't desire. So what happens with us? Kind of a simple thing, going for a party. Maybe if anybody decides, okay, party, it is so much fun for some people. But a person who is an intellectual, he understands the sorrow behind all this. From small incidences in our life, we see them as matters of great pleasure. However, understanding the displeasure in those events is a sign of what? Knowledge. And we all know the story of Prince Siddhartha. What happens when he was at a young age married to a very beautiful lady, and he saw one day that there is so much pain around in the world. He saw that this old age. He saw old people. He said, okay, one day this is what is going to happen to me. One day my body is also going to deteriorate. He also saw poverty. He saw diseases. He could see what is this entire pain about. 6 years of penance he did, and he found out the path of ultimate liberation and gave that path to us. Having an understanding of pain, we all should understand dukkha doshanu darshana. Having an understanding of pain, it gives us lot of mental strength. Some sorrow gives lot of mental strength. For instance, some people, they have this thing. They are sick from the childhood. They will have some or the other sickness. Kabhi, whole year they will have cough and cold. Frequently falling sick. When they grow up, if little bit, health issues, complaints they get, they don't get boggled easily. Okay, it will go a little bit fever here and there. In contrast to that, if somebody who has never fallen sick, never, seen the hospital, never seen a doctor, always been very healthy, if he gets even one sneeze, sometimes they become so boggled. Oh God, what has happened to me? Because that they cannot identify with this pain of the body. Grief always helps us to stay on the right path. There is a very, beautiful thing about Kunti Mata. Once Shri Krishna was telling, he was, everybody seeks some or the other blessing. Somebody has started the screen sharing.
I'll stop that.
Okay. So some or the other, blessings people are seeking. Krishna ji, bless us with something, bless us with this. And he asked Kunti Mata, what is it that you want? Bua, tell me, what is it that I can bless you with, I can gift you? He said, Krishna, Kunti was a very knowledgeable lady. She said, I want only one thing, Shri Krishna. You always bless me with pain, bless me with so much suffering that I always remember God. The memory of God will never go from my mind if I'm having pain in my life. So give me the sufferings, because I know the path to come out of the suffering anyways, God will help me. But I should not, forget. Once, the life is merry, we tend to forget God. So we tend to feel, okay, Jivan unmat ho jata hai, Swamiji says, because we tend to get so involved in merry, we cannot stay on the right path. However, if there are sufferings in life, if there is little pain, then it keeps us on the right path. The knowledgeable person understands the pain, understands the pain, and knows how to keep himself separate from him with the right mindset. One should always be aware of this. And what Shri Krishna mentions, there are further things. Asaktirana bhishvangah putradar gruhadishu nityaincha samachittatvam ishtanishtovapattishu. Shri Krishna says, what this kind of person does, asakti. Asaktirana bhishvangah. Asakti means one should not be stuck with anything. See, when somebody is stuck at one place, it is very damaging. For instance, if you see a flowing water versus stagnant water, what is there in stagnant water? Stagnant water gives rise to diseases, it can give rise to so many other things. But the flowing water, it is always going to be nirmal, shuddha. It is going to be pure. Gradually, whatever impurities are there, it has the capacity to clean itself, the flowing water. So this flow of emotions like that, this asakti, it is not like, see, you can't be emotionless, but this flow of emotions should be there. How we should not get stuck to anybody with beyond a certain limit. It should not become like a binding. And anabhishvanga, putra, anabhishvanga means absence of excessive love. Excessive love, absence for whom? Putra, dara, gruha, adishu means putra, we all know, children. Dara in Sanskrit means the wife. Gruha, towards the house, towards the family. The absence of excessive love for child, wife, home, and the like. Adishu, when the word adi is used, means etc. It is including everything. There is excessive attachment to everything. That is what is dangerous. That is what takes you away from the path of seeking knowledge. Sri Krishna says that this absence of excessive love for these things is what important characteristic of a knowledgeable person, and this our other sages have also reinforced. Dattatreya, Bhagwan Dattatreya has mentioned, he has learned from a story of a pigeon. There is a mention about him learning this asakti, detachment, staying away from this, not being stuck in this love. He says he has learned from the story of a pigeon. Once he saw that there was a net put on the ground, and then these smaller sized pigeons, they came and they got stuck in the net. When the mother pigeon came, she saw that her small children are stuck. She had a lot of sorrow, and she, in the time, my children are going, she also went and got stuck in this net. When the father pigeon came, he also saw and said, oh, my wife is not there, my children are not there. He also went and stood in the net. Without them I cannot live. He also went and stuck in the net. And now this person who was catching all the birds, he didn't take away the net once this baby were stuck. He knew that the others are going to follow, and he will get a big, group of birds captured. So he also waited for the mothers and then the father pigeons to come and get stuck in the net. From this example, he got understood. See, this is the problem with asakti. Now, then he thought whether what the parents did, was it correct? What should be our line of action? We should be attached. We should help our family, but not get stuck. That, if they are not there, we'll also go. Tum nahi to main bhi nahi. No, the life is important. Suppose God forbid this should not happen with anybody, but if us, somebody's son, daughter have encountered an accident, and seeing that the father is just so attached that instead of doing, he also feels so helpless. He suffers a heart attack and gone. What is the use? No, if you see something like this, you should be aware of the duties, not get into that delusion of how your life will be without them, but act. Save the child, rush to the hospital, save, and do your best. So, see, these are very minimal examples, and only for the sake of, distinction, I'm telling. But what we are trying to understand here is the difference between moha and prema. That is the difference between delusion and enchantment and love. What is the difference between these two? We should be clear and then inculcate these two values within us. And this moha, it is not like, now I gave an example of an accident. It is, in one go, the death has happened. But most of the time this process of deterioration by moha, by the enchantment or delusion, is not one stroke process. It happens in a gradual way. It is a step by step thing. How it happens? A child is growing. What is going to happen now? Next, will my job be there? Will I get sufficient money? How will I bring up my children? How will my daughter-in-law be? How will so and so forth? Eternally, these things keep going on. And then what happens? This gradually, this moha is going to take you away from the path of knowledge. So what we have to understand, there should not be any slack in our duty. We should follow all our duties while living in this body. We have to follow all our duties, but the excess, but the attachment which will lead to the failure should be avoided. And in the process of living, in the process of following our duties, what is always going to happen? There are going to be some favorable things. Some are going to be unfavorable things. In these situations, Shri Krishna says, the knowledgeable people do what? Samachittatva mishtanishtopapatishu. In the painful events, in the pleasurable events, ishta and anishta. In Ishta, Ishta is the pleasurable events and Anishta is the unpleasurable, unfavorable events. Ishta, Nishta, Upapattishu means one attains what? A balance. In both the situations, they attain a state of balance. We have to all understand what we are striving through each chapter of Bhagavad Gita is yoga. Yoga is ultimately the total balance of mind. For the very cute example is being quoted by Swamiji once, that we all know what is the game of cricket. In the game of cricket, I don't need to explain you the game of cricket. You all know the ball comes, and what is the duty of the batsman? To defend the ball from hitting the stump. And in this process, what is going to happen? He is trying to defend the stump. The balls, we have to understand, which are coming, these are like the sukh and dukkha. We have to imagine life as a game of cricket. There is a poem, very famous poem also in English, where it describes that life is like a game of cricket, where the balls of happiness and sadness are coming towards you, and with a bat of wisdom, how the batsman using his bat is defending the stumps. What we, a human being, is expected to do, using the bat of wisdom, we have to defend our antaratma, of our entire mind. Just like how day and night are going to be coming. It is a process you cannot stop. Similarly, the happiness and sadness are always going to be there, but we have to defend ourselves using what? Our appropriate intellect. We have to rise above these dualities. We have to rise above these situations and enhance our spiritual strength so much that there is a certain level of detachment. We have to understand. See, we are seeing this season, monsoon season. This time the rains are really unpredictable. So many places are being flooded. There are floods all over the place. Now, this floods and all, it is happening on the land. We get so boggled with it. There is flood, there is no flood, rains and no rains. Imagine yourself in an ocean. In the ocean, what is this concept of flood? There is no concept of flood. The water is everywhere. The floods will come and go. It is making no difference to the ocean. Similarly, a person, a human being, an intellect, a jnani should be how? He develops his ability so much like an ocean that he remains unperturbed, totally undisturbed by these reversals in their life, by these dualities in their life. He does not get carried away by this euphoria of success that, oh, I'm so successful. He will not get carried away with that, and he will not give in to this failures also at any point of time. And further, Shri Krishna is making us deeper into the minds of the intellectual, in the minds of Jnani. Maichananya yogena bhaktiravyabicharini vivikta desha sevitvam aratirjana samsadi. See what Shri Krishna is telling us. He is telling us the different characteristics. Till now, till the 9th shloka, what we have seen are the different characteristics of the knowledgeable people. How are the knowledgeable people? How they are thinking? How detached they are from the world. Now in this shloka, Shri Krishna is trying to tell us something more deeper. He's making us deep into the minds of the knowledgeable person. He has all explained all the characteristics. Now, how is the mind of this knowledgeable person? How is the internal state of this mind? That Shri Krishna is explaining in this particular shloka. His mind is what? Very important thing he has told. His mind is continuously stuck into what? One penultimate power, that is the God. He is single-mindedly thinking about what? About God, about the supreme power, the ultimate power. Very important two adjectives we should always remember. Two adjectives Shri Krishna has used here. Maichananya yogena bhaktiravyacharini. About two things he is telling, two thoughts he should always have. Two adjectives that he has used is ananya yogena and avyavicharini bhakti. Two things he has still told about the bhakti, about the devotion that these knowledgeable people have. Ananya yogena. Ananya means unique, which is matchless, completely incomparable to anything. That is Ananya. Yogena, we all know yoga is union with the God. So they have an incomparable union with the God. Once connected to God, sometimes this thought will come, now that they are connected to God. What is this Ananya Yogena again? Ananya Yogena, continuously they are connected to God. Like Jnaneshwar Maharaj gives this very beautiful example at multiple places. This helps us understand devotion in a very good way. That bhakti is not a destination. It is a journey of, remaining favorite of God. Like we say Ganga Ji is flowing. Now tell me, when the Ganga Ji is flowing, is it united with the God, or is it united with the sea, ocean, or is it still uniting? It is a continuous process. Is it already? It is not. We cannot say that it is not yet united. It is united with the ocean, the Ganga Ji, and it is still uniting. So once you attain this liberation, once you are connected with God, you cannot remain not connected. We cannot say, now I have become an ideal devotee, now I have had the sakshatkar, I have had some beautiful experiences, divine experiences, and now God has indicated to me that I am the favorite devotee, one of his favorite devotee. I will stop bhakti. No, this is a continuous process. It is a devotion. This kind of a person, Swamiji explains very nicely, Bahar se bhakt, Antaranga mein Bhagwan. From outside, he is still remaining a devotee. He is displaying the characteristics of the best devotee. And from within, he is always connected to the Bhagwan. He is never getting disconnected. Ganga Ji is never disconnected from the ocean. We have to remember this. And the next adjective, very important one that is being used, is Avyabhicharini Bhakti. This we have seen even in the 11th chapter, last shloka. What is Avyabhicharini Bhakti? That there is no other thought that will occupy the mind of this person. It will be what? Avyabhicharini, unswearing devotion. How is that devotion? That we are always united with the God himself. Like Ramakrishna, Swami Ramakrishna, he has never called Kali Mata. He had a figure of Kali whom he used to worship. He has never called her Kali or Devi or God. He has always called her Mata. She is my mother. So much always united with her, with that feeling. Never considered her separate from himself. That is the Avyabhicharini Bhakti. And Shri Krishna further says, Vivikta Desha Sevitvam, Vivikta Desha Sevitvam, Aratir Jana Samsadi. he is resorting to what? Solitary places. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. Vivikta Desha, the places where it is not very crowded. See, it is a duty of a person to, for the sake of duty, we have to live with everybody. We cannot just leave this world and go away. But solitude becomes their natural nature. They do not prefer how much ever is required to interact with people around them. They will interact, but what they will prefer always is that staying in a solitary place. The subtle voice within is best heard in silence. When we are in a silent place, now we all know how cattle eat their food. You all must be knowing. They chew the cud. They will eat the food, store it in their mouths at one place, and when they are alone, what is this importance of staying alone, and what is this importance of liking to be in solidarity? Is you can understand from here. When the cattle, they eat their food, they will store it at a particular place in their mouth, and when they are sitting alone, what they will do? Sit and chew it, continuously keep chewing. They are doing what? Rasaswadan, enjoying their food. First store it and then nicely, slowly keep enjoying the food. Now you should also do this. Whatever we are hearing in all the Vivechan Satras, whatever we are reading in different books, once you sit alone, whatever you are relearning in your Ucharan classes, the pronunciation, sit alone, go through those chapters, and then you will connect with those chapters. Bhagavad-Gītā, when you are learning, when you are listening to things here, listening to stories, listening to reading different books, learning the pronunciation nicely, all this has to converge, and this will happen in solidity. Sit at one place and in full, just connect yourself with all this knowledge. Jana samsati aratihi. Aratihi means what? Aratihi. Rat means, engaged in, enjoying, engaged in, liking it, is rat. And aratihi means having a distaste, not interested in. So jana samsati aratihi means it's not like they will stay away from people, but they do not enjoy the company, excessive company of any person. Unnecessary gossip, attention, what they will do, they will not enjoy this. Aratihi, jana samsati arati. And when they are alone, what they will do? They will enjoy, chew the cud, they will enjoy whatever thoughts are there which connect them to God, they will try to enjoy them. And this exactly is the process of moving forward. In which direction? Adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etat jnanamiti proktam ajnanam yadato jnatham. This is going to ultimately lead you to what? The ultimate knowledge. What is the ultimate knowledge, and what are the the ultimate knowledge we have to understand? And this is an important characteristics of a knowledgeable person, of the wise person. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam. Continuously engage in the process of what? Acquiring the knowledge, spiritual knowledge. This particular characteristics is clearly visible in them. Wherever they are, they will try to what? Attain the knowledge, spiritual knowledge, and nityatvan. So it's not like, okay, 1 hour class attended, now we will attend the sessions, our Vivechan session. Okay, that we can do later. Once attended this Vivechan session, one attended, no need to attend the classes further. No, nitya, daily practice, 1 hour, 2 hours spending as per the time permits. But nityatvam, where even, there are some people, some sadhaks I know, when they are driving, they put on the audios of our lovely respected Suvarna Kakiji. Always, how this will help? It will keep them focused. It will keep them rat in the direction of knowledge. This is a very important characteristics of somebody who is trying to seek knowledge. And tattva jnanartha darshanam. Tattva jnanartha. What is this Tattva Jnana? Tattva Jnana. What is the meaning of Tattva Jnana? Sometimes, see, we have to understand. They're both terms sound so similar. Adhyatma Jnana, two types of knowledge Shri Krishna is speaking about here. Two types of knowledge he has said. Adhyatma Jnana and Tattva Jnana. As a seeker of Bhagavad Gita, we should know what is the difference between Adhyatma Jnana and Tattva Jnana. Adhyatma Jnana is the knowledge of self. Who am I? Where have I come from? Where am I going to go? What is going to happen to me after the death? What is how is my journey going to be ahead? How do I reach where I want to reach? Adhyatma Jnana, that is knowledge of self. And Tattva Jnana, knowledge of the surroundings, that is Tattva Jnana. How is this world origin? How this world has come into origin? That is Tattva Jnana. And knowing it elementally from the crux, knowing it from the root. For instance, if you take a piece of diamond to a jeweler, what he'll say, oh, it is a precious stone, and this will cost so and so. He is seeing just the value from a worldly perspective. You take it to a scientist, he'll say, okay, and he'll compare, oh, this is just coal, you know. And under a different set of temperature and pressure, it is solidified, it is carbon. Both are made up of carbon. If two stones are shown, the jeweler will say, oh, this is more valuable, this is not. The scientist will say this, they both are actually the same element. They both are made up of carbon. This is what is meant by knowing something elementally, by root. We know what is the root of everything, that is Tattva Jnana. This Sri Krishna is saying that the knowledgeable person is always seeking both these type of knowledge. And what Sri Krishna says, etach jnanamiti proktam yad proktam adhyanan yadato nyatha. Whatever these characteristics I told you from the 7th shloka till now he didn't say the shlokas, okay, this is for your understanding. From the 7th shloka till 11th shloka, whatever characteristics I have told you, etach jnanamiti proktam, this is called a knowledge, this is jnana, and whatever is not covered in these. So if we are saying amanitvam, then the opposite of that will be manitvam, the one who is, having too much of ego. Just keep making the opposite of this. Whatever is not included in these characteristics, that is what ajnana yadato nyatha. That is ajnana. That is ignorance. That is darkness. We have to understand that now sometimes this doubt will come. See, Shri Krishna is telling that these are the characteristics of knowledgeable person. These are the characteristics of jnani, knowledgeable people. And now here he is saying this is etach jnana. How can the characteristics of knowledgeable people be the knowledge itself? Isn't this a very logical question? That he's told that I'll tell you the characteristics of a knowledgeable person. I have explained in detail the characteristics of knowledgeable people, so much so that anything that is not in these characteristics becomes ajnana, it becomes ignorance. And he's saying these characteristics are itself knowledge. Here we have to understand one very important thing, that knowledge is abstract. Jnana, it is abstract. And to understand something which is abstract, we have to take support of what? Personification. So tomorrow if somebody comes and asks me, tell me what is Swabhiman? How can I say, okay, look at that thing, it is Swabhiman? I cannot, because it is abstract. It cannot be pointed, it cannot be shown. I cannot take it out from the pocket and show, look, this is Swabhiman. That cannot be done. If I have to explain somebody what is Swabhiman, what I'll tell, so what Maharana Pratap used to do, what he was a Swabhimani person. He never bowed down to the person whom we call Akbar, so much so that he said, I will never call him Badshah. He used to call him a Turk. He never called him Badshah, Akbar, King Akbar. All the kings of his time, the remaining kings of his time, used to call him Badshah, the king, and give him so many riches, etc., etc. But Maharana Pratap, no, he is a looter. He is a person who has come here to loot. He never called him Badshah. He said, I will never call him. He used to call him a Turk. And he said he wanted him to go with. And if I have to explain somebody what is Swabhiman, I have to tell the story of Maharana Pratap. I have to tell the story of Maharani Lakshmi Bai. Then the person will understand what is this Swabhiman. Similarly, to understand what is Jnana, I have to tell what a Jnani looks like. That is Jnana. And that is why Shri Krishna is saying, this is knowledge. Etach jnanam iti proktam. This is knowledge. And opposite of all this is ignorance. All these characteristics of knowledge, using all these characteristics of knowledge, all this knowledge, what is it that we are trying to understand? Now, next step higher. So by getting all these qualities, one person can become knowledgeable person. He can attain the real knowledge. But what is that real knowledge? What is it that you are trying to attain by becoming a jnani? That question should come to all of us. What is this jnani? Two things sometime back I mentioned. Adhyatma jnana and tattva jnana. Two things Shri Krishna says that the people are seeking. Adhyatma jnana is knowledge of self. Who am I? Tattva jnana is knowledge of the world around me. What is this world all about? Where it has come from? The knowledge where these two are converging, where the Adhyatma Jnana and Tattva Jnana, where these two converge at one place, and that one place is called Jnana. Jnana in Sanskrit means something that is worthy of knowing. We all know drinking, milk, water, sharbat, all these. They are called what? In Hindi, in Sanskrit, everywhere, we call them peya. Peya means something that is worthy of drinking, which is eligible to be drunk, which is worthy of drinking. Like that, whatever is eligible to be known, what is it that should be known is Jnana. And what is this Jnana? Jnana is that one place where Adhyatma Jnana and Tattva Jnana both are converging into one place. That Jnana, it is also the Brahma. This is what is the ultimate thing worthy of knowing. This entire, in Marathi we have a word, khatatop. All this hustle and bustle that we are doing it of learning is to understand this ultimate jnana, ultimate knowledge, ultimate jnana. This is what Shri Krishna is going to describe for us, and he has already told that this is what is kshetrajna. This is also the kshetrajna. Jneyaya tat pravakshami yajñātvā mritamashnuti anādimat param brahma nasattanna saduchyate. Jneya, this is what is worth knowing. I am going to tell you that now. Jneyam what? Yat jneyam tat pravakshami. Whatever is worthy of knowing, that I am going to tell you now. And how is this worthy of knowing? Whatever he's saying, yat jneya tat pravakshami, what I'm going to tell you, why is it important to be told? By knowing this, what is it that you are going to attain? Yajñātvā amritam ashnute. One attains immortality. There is a very beautiful prayer each one of us have learned in our school days. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma mritangamaya. We all have learned this. What is this prayer? This is the ultimate prayer. Asato ma sadgamaya. From asat, take me to sat. So from what is not manifested asat, you have to take me to what is the truth. We all are living in the world which is Maya. We all know it is not the reality. From this unreal, take me to the real. From tamasoma jyotirgamaya, from darkness, take me to what? Light. Now from darkness to light, it doesn't mean the darkness and light, like from night take me to the day, okay? It means from ignorance, take me to knowledge. And mrityorma amritangamaya, take me to, from the death, take me to Amrit. Now this literally translates into what? From death, take me to immortality. But This is not that Amrit which the gods drank to become, Amar, or, they conquered death. No, not that nectar. Here what we are talking about is this Amritam Ashnuti. This Amrita is what is being seeked in this prayer. Mrityorma Amritangamaya. This what it is actually. It is going to be this knowledge is the actual Amrit. It is what is going to free you from what? Immortality. In what way? We have to understand this from our very little Nachiketa. We have heard a story of a small boy Nachiketa in our scriptures. What Nachiketa did, he was sent to a young god, and he said, I want to know what is that is left after death. I want to know that. Now Yam saw this small 80-year-old boy, what, he wants to know about Atma and all this. He gave him lot of temptations. I'll give you long life. I'll give you horses. I'll make you king for as many years as you want. I'll keep you young forever. You will never become old. All these types of boon I can give you, Nachiketa. You tell me what you want. Nachiketa said, no matter what you will give me, but one day ultimately I have to die. That you cannot, control. One day you are saying that I'll give you a long life, a prosperous life, but that means long life ultimately is going to have that full stop. Somewhere it is also going to end. No matter what I do, I have to undergo this process of death. So why don't I just understand that one element, after knowing which the death itself will not have any meaning to me. This is the same thing what Raodeo Maharaj has preached in what Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā to King Parikshit for 7 days. This is what I want to understand. The Jnaya is this. This is the Amrit that this Jnaya is going to ultimately give us. And what are the characteristics of this Jnaya? This penultimate knowledge is Anadimat Param Brahma. Nasattanna saduchyate. Anadimat Param Brahma. How is this Anadi? Anadi means there is no point about thinking about what is the beginning, what is the end of this. There is no starting, no ending. Anadimat Para. This Tat Anadimat Param Brahma. Param means it is the prime. There is nothing beyond it. This entire universe is emerging from it, and ultimately, after establishing itself in him, this entire universe is again merging back into him. It is Anadimat. And in this entire process, he remains unchanged. He is the eternal Param Brahma. Param Brahma means there is nothing more superior to him, nothing more extensive than him, nothing more pure. It is eternal. It is pure. This is Param Brahma. And Nasat na asat uchyate. Nasat tanna saduchyate. It means Nasat na asat uchyate. Means it cannot be said to be non-existence, and it cannot be said to be existing also. This is a very relative term. We cannot say that we cannot deny its presence. It is there. But we cannot deny that it is not existing also. Suppose in the air, if we see the air around us and you ask a child, do you see water anywhere? And the child will say, no, there is no water, it is dry air. But we know from our knowledge that there is water in the form of water vapor everywhere around us. We cannot deny the presence of water vapor in the air around us. It is there. We cannot deny it. And we cannot either just prove it just by saying, we cannot prove it, but it is existent and non-existent at the same time. They have these terms, existence and non-existence, become relative to each other, relative of each other, basically, after a certain point of time. So suppose I say now in this part of the world where I am now, it is night. In the other side of the surface of this earth, there is day. Now, so this night and day, they are relative because it is facing the sun. So there it is day, here it is night. But if you think about it from if you think about it from the surface of sun, we cannot say there is day or night. There is no concept of day and night there. Everything is day. You cannot even say it is day because there is no night. If there is no night, the question of day doesn't arise, isn't it? So there is no concept of day. These are relative terms, these Sat and Asat. It is for what? Our understanding. They are, because night is there, there is day. But there is a particular place, a point beyond all this where the day and night, the distinction is gone. The difference doesn't remain. That Parabrahma is beyond these definitions of existence and non-existence. There is a place, like I say, on the sun, there is no this distinction between day and night. This is this ultimate place where this distinction is gone. Similarly, that Sat, na Sat, na Asat, that place is this Parabrahma. It is penultimate. These adjectives are like, saying whether it is Sat or whether it is Asat. It is like limiting the importance of this Gneya, limiting the importance of Brahma. It is completely, this description is limitless. It is beyond words. But what Sri Krishna is doing, this description, when I'm saying that it cannot be described as Sat, Asat, and all these things, but there are no words which can describe. But we have to understand, because it is a limitation of our intellect, that we will understand things only in these terms. One small thing I'll tell you. Recently we had that Karwa Chauth, some festivals are there where the ladies, they have to see the moon and then they can eat food. Now I remember that day it was very cloudy in Bhagiragar. It was cloudy and I could not see the moon. Then I was taking a walk in the night, and there's this lady with a puja thali. Poor lady was roaming around between these blocks, buildings. Can I see the moon from here? Can I see it from here? And casually I said, okay, I just saw some time back, behind the clouds, I saw moon. She said, oh, where? I said, wait, let me remember. Then I took her to a particular spot. I was standing here for a moment. I could see when these clouds moved, I could see the moon. Then how I had to explain her the direction? Above that blockage, near that branch of the tree, there I saw this moon. So we waited there for 4-5 minutes, and then after some time the clouds moved and we could see that moon. And now, are the moons connected to these buildings whose reference I was giving her? Behind that building, beside that branch, is the moon connected to these branches and these buildings? No. But what is happening? They are relative. So the words that are used here, whatever description Shri Krishna has given, it is only for our understanding. It has got no relation. The Neya that we are trying to understand has got no relation with Sat, Asat. It is beyond all this. Understand, it is beyond all this. But these are just the pointers, the branches, the buildings which are helping me look at that moon. These all the shlokas from the 12, 13, 14 shlokas, all these shlokas are just helping me to, these are like those branches and those buildings which are pointing towards that Brahma. And that is what Shri Krishna is using those examples for our understanding. What he explains further, Sarvatah Panipadan Tat Sarvato Kshishiro Mukham Sarvatah Shruti Malloki Sarvama Vritya Tishtati. For understanding this image of Nirgun Paramatma, for it to settle in the minds, like we need the reference of the branches and the buildings to figure out where the moon is. Here we, for a Dehadari, for a person like us, if somebody tells me, look at our Thakurji, beautiful, small murti somebody gives, it is easy for me to understand how this murti is, 2 hands, 2 arms, beautiful, decorated and all this. But if I have to understand the Nirgun Parabrahma Paramatma, again that limitation of the knowledge comes, and I have to imagine it in terms of what the hands and legs and in terms of the body, and that is what Shri Krishna has helped Arjun do here. He has explained the Nirgun in terms of the hands and legs, but again we don't have to take them literally. We have to understand that these are the characteristics of Nirgun, that Nirgun is what? The formless Paramatma that we are trying to understand. We are trying to understand his characteristics using these pointers. What he says, Sarvatah Panipadantat. How are his hands? They are spread everywhere. His hands, Pani is the hands, and Pada is the legs. His hands and legs are what spread everywhere. And Sarvato Kshashiro Mukham. Everywhere his heads and mouths are everywhere. How is his Sarvata Shruti Malloke? Everywhere his ears are there. Wherever we are singing his chant, he can hear us. Sarva Mavritya Tishtati. He is covering everything. And what he is still, everything is being covered under him. Sarva Mavritya Tishtati. He is covering everything. Everything he is engulfing with his hands, his legs. He is having everything within himself. See, these capacities, what are these capacities of hands, legs, everything? When a devotee is offering food, when we offer the food and we look at our Sri Krishna, his eyes, we'll look at his eyes, we'll feel the Murti is talking to me. The Murti is accepting the food that I'm offering. The Murti is doing, when we are saying the work is being done by this Parampita Brahmatma, we are imagining his hands are everywhere. And his hands are actually everywhere. The presence, just yesterday, day before yesterday, if you all have heard, Swami Advayananda had come in our inauguration. He said a beautiful thing about this entire Learn Geeta. He mentioned a very beautiful thing. He said, just like how Vishwarup Darshan we have seen, and I see that we say that the Parabrahma Paramatma, his hands are operating everywhere by the meal. Just like that, this Learn Geeta, when I see the way it is spreading, it is as if the hands are his hands. He is, entering our hands and getting all these things done. Sarvata Pani Padantan, what else it is? All these great jobs that are happening on this world, whatever the mankind is achieving, whether it is Chandrayaan or whether it is the mission to the moon, mission to the sun, whatever all other countries are also achieving, everything great that the man is achieving, Sarvata Pani Padan, that his hands are it is through his actions we have to understand. So Sarvata Pani Padan, that Sarvata Shishiro Mukham, whatever offerings we are doing, he is accepting all these sense organs. What he says, every particle in this universe, our one body has these abilities and we feel so great about ourselves, but each and every particle of this universe has these abilities. That great is the presence of God. God has these abilities in every particle of this universe. This amazing power of Nirgun Paramatma is such that all these abilities are present in each and every particle, each and everything. Everything is encompassed by Paramatma. And continuing with the description of this Neya, he says, Sarvendriya Gunabhasam Sarvendriya Vivarjitam Asaktam Sarva Prachaiva Nirgunam Gunabhoktracha. Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. He gives the feeling of like it feels as if he has some senses, but he doesn't have any sense organs. It feels that he is eating the food that I'm giving, but he doesn't have any tongue to eat that. Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. Vivarjitam means lack of, absence of the sense organs. So for us it appears that he has all the senses, he's sensing everything, but at the same time he's not having any sense organs. Though he doesn't have the ears, he's able to hear what you are chanting. When we chant, we had Parayan today morning, 18th chapter, blissful feeling it was. We could see, we could feel from the mind. He is listening from all different places in this world. Everybody has chanted all 18 chapters. He is present everywhere. He doesn't have ears, but he's listening to the voice of his devotees. Without eyes, he's seeing everything going on, not only in this lok, in every other lok. Without having a sense of touch and skin, he can embrace all his devotees. Like electricity is not in the bulb, but while functioning, electricity is not the actual light of the bulb. When you look at the bulb, we cannot say that there is light, but why? Because of the way it is making the bulb function, we are able to see the light. So this same electricity gives an appearance of life. It makes its presence felt. That is what it means by Sarvendriya Gunabhasam Sarvendriya Viparjitam. Asaktam Sarvabhrachaiva. Asaktam Sarvabhracha Eva. It is detached from all the beings. For God, it doesn't matter, everything is same, but at the same time, it is responsible for what? Upbringing and supporting. Sarvabhracha Eva. Asaktam, it is detached, but at the same time it is responsible for the upbringing and support of all the beings. Nirgunam Gunabhotracha. It is beyond all gunas. We all know Prakriti is Trigunatmaka. It is he is beyond all these. He is a gunatita. These gunas cannot affect him, but it's by our means. He is what? He is becoming the bhokta. He is the one who is enjoying these gunas also. He is enjoying seeing his devotees. He is enjoying everything from our karma. He is enjoying. Under the influence of all the gunas, we are doing all these chanting, all this good and bad deeds, whatever are happening. Everything under the influence of gunas, they are happening, and at the same time, these are being enjoyed by the Parabrahma Tattva. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharaicharameva cha sukshmatvat tada vijñeyan durasthain chantike cha tat. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharaicharameva cha, the Paramatma Tattva. It is enveloping what all the movable and the unmovable objects. These are everywhere. Acharain charamevacha. How is it possible that it is also inside? It is not only enveloping, it is also inside them. Bahihi antascha means it is also outside them, it is encompassing them, and it is also within them. How is it possible? For example, if you take ice and you keep the ice somewhere, okay, just put it in water, or the water is inside the ice cube also, and it is outside also. When the ice cube is there, the ice starts melting, you will see the water is outside the ice also, inside also. It is bahihi also, and it is anta also. It is outside also, and it is inside also. If you fill a balloon with air, you cannot deny that there is no air inside the balloon. And you cannot deny that, I will say that the balloon, I have filled all the air in this balloon, there is no air outside. It is enveloping the balloon, and it is also within it. And this is so sukshma. It is so little. Sukshmatvat tada vijñeyan durasthain chantike cha tat. It is so subtle that it cannot be seen. But it is how it is still holding all the objects, these electrons, protons, all. What is this? This is a form of Parabrahma Tattva also. The air around us, as we saw that the air around us, it is having water, vapor, everything, it is so subtle. But the water vapor is so subtle that because of its subtleness, we think it cannot be known. It is unknowable. It makes its presence felt when it comes in contact with what? A cold surface, then it is making its presence felt. Similarly, it is so subtle, this jnaya, it is so subtle that it cannot be known. Because of its subtleness, it cannot be known. At the same time, so here the jnaya is called ajnaya. Avigneya. So something that is how one question should come, that what it is worthy knowing, it is jnaya. And here Shri Krishna says it is avigneya. It cannot be known. It is confusing, isn't it? Sukshmata tada vijñeyam. Now he is telling that I'm going to tell you the characteristics of jnaya, that is something which is knowable. And here it is saying that it is so subtle that it cannot be known. Why? Here we have to understand, it can be known only by itself, only by self. So if we all have faith on this Parabrahma, if we have faith on the jnaya, then only we can come to know about it. Because of its subtleness, it cannot be known with the help of senses. It cannot be, it is avigneya, because everything that we are trying to understand, the water vapor around us, we are trying to understand it by the help of the senses. It is avigneya. Only by connecting to it, by having faith on it, it can be understood. And durasthain chantike chatat. He is near us, but durasthai, though it is very near to us, it is very far from us. How? We are so close to these worldly pleasures. We are so connected to these worldly pleasures that it appears very far. God appears somewhere, kahin to upar ho gaye Bhagwan. But where it is, where he is actually residing within us. Now we say, Deva ghari gele. We say, where is God? Up in the heaven. No, he is within us. Very beautifully Swamiji explains, where is Bhagwan? He is so close to us. It is even more closer to us than our skin itself. It is that close to us. But because we are so attached to all these worldly pleasures, etc., what happens because of that? The sadhak has, we are inclination towards the world, the inclination towards God becomes different, and we are not able to understand him. And avibhaktai cha bhuteshu vibhaktamiva cha sthitam bhuta bhartra cha tachmiham graseshna prabhavishnu cha jyotishamapi tachyotistamasah paramuchyate jnanagamyam hridhi sarvasya vishtitam. These very important, these two shlokas. Just, I understand we are crossing the time, but little bit more patience. Let's understand these small characteristics once, so that this topic in totality we will be able to understand. Avibhaktaincha bhuteshu. He is undivided amongst all. See, the world here, it is in diverse forms, but he is undivided. The Atma in me is same as the Atma in any other creature around. So he is avibhakta. He is undivided. He is undivided in all these diverse forms. At the same time, when we say, oh, that is a dog, when we look down upon something, this is our delusion. Understand that this vibhakta, this feeling of division is our ignorance. So we have to understand this. So God is actually undivided, but to us he appears it is divided. From, so for example, a day is transforming from what morning, then it is afternoon, and it is evening. This entire transition is happening. But in this process, if you look at the sky is going to remain the same. The sky is going to remain the same during a lifetime. We also transform. I used to look little different in my childhood, then different. Our body is transforming. Our photos, if you look from childhood to youth, everything is transforming. But the body remains the same. The person that you are remains the same. The Atma Tattva remains the same. Avibhaktaincha bhuteshu vibhaktamiva chastita. Though it is appearing different at different points of time, but I remain the same. The sky remains the same. Similarly, this Paramatma Tattva, it is present in all different things. It is appearing divided, but it remains the same. And how it is? Bhuta bhartricha tachmiyam graseshna prabhavishnu cha. It is the one which is supporter of all beings. It supports Bhuta Bhartru. We are getting food to eat. This provision of these plants for our food is all made by God himself. He is supporting all living beings. Graseshnu. He is ultimately this, after the pralaya, everything is going to get merged into him. He is the destroyer of everything. He is also Prabhavishnu. He is also the creator. This entire process of creation and destruction is happening in cycle. Who is responsible? The Jnana itself is responsible. The truth is enclosing us, and within us we cannot experience it. This entire, this process we have to change. From this darkness we have to go towards the light. How is this light? Jyotishamapi tachyotis tamasah paramuchyate jnanai jnanagamyam hridhi sarvasya vishtitam. Jyotishamapi tachyotish. Whatever we see that, the light, we are smell rose, we smell through our nose. Whatever we are feeling, from the tongue we taste, from eyes we see, whatever we are doing with the help of our sense organs, these are illuminated. These are working because of what? Mind is the illuminator for all this. I am able to understand this is sweet, this is sour because of my mind. So this what is the element? The tongue is working, but the one who is understanding is what? The mind. Similarly, when we say the sun, the moon, everything, these are visible to us. Because of the light, they are visible to us. But what exactly is making them visible to us? It is the light. That is the illuminator. Like that, our mind is the illuminator. And this illuminator in everybody, in everything, this illuminator, this is self. This is the Paramatma, Parabrahma. This Brahma itself is the illuminator. And tamasah paramuchyate. It is this is the ultimate life where the darkness cannot come close to you. In any way, the darkness cannot come close to you. So basically, we have to understand this param tattva jnaya is beyond the concept of darkness and ignorance also. Tamasah paramuchyate. It is tamasah param. It is beyond this concept of darkness and ignorance. It is that powerful light. And jnanai jneye jnanagamyam. It itself is the jnana. Jnana, it is the knowledge. Jneya, it is the knowable. And jnanagamyam, it is the one which helps you attain the knowledge. All three. It is a means. It is the way to achieve the means. Jnanai, knowledge. It is the jneya. It is the knowable. And it is a jnanagamya. It can be known. This jnana can be known because by itself. Okay. So these illusions can be cleared by itself. That is why these are the important characteristics of the knowledge. And Hriday Sarvasya Vishtitam, he resides in our hearts. By this, Sri Krishna has told us about Kshetra, the body, the knowledge, and the knowable itself. Iti kshetram tatha jnanain jneyeng choktam samasataha madbhakta etat vijnaya madbhavayo vapadyate. The 36 characteristics of the kshetra, the 20 characteristics of what? Knowledge, the characteristics of the jnani, and the characteristics of the knowable. What is this God? There are 16 characteristics. If you go through all the shlokas and list them out, you will see the 16 characteristics. All this I have summarized in principles. Jneye choktam samasataha. I have given you all these principles. And the one, mad bhakta etad vijnaya. By knowing all this, my devotee can attain what? Me. They can attain me. And having explained all these things, Shri Krishna is going to tell us about how this entire thing is working together, the Prakriti and the Purush. It is a very detailed concept. Together, this should be seen in totality, and this entire concept we will see from the next session. With this, I offer this entire discourse at the feet of Swami Govindev Giriji Maharaj and all our gurus, by the help of whom this discourse has happened, offering in everything, all the actions at the feet of Shri Krishna himself. Hari Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om. Again, apologies for the time being crossed, but I'm really sorry. The topic is also a little detailed, and yeah.
Yes.
Sincere apologies for that.
We enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, Didi, it was a wonderful session. In your own sweet voice, it was really very nice to hear. Yeah, as you said, it's a bit deep chapter, so it can't be like, but still you have managed to do it in the short time which was available for you. So that was wonderful. And thank you, Didi, for that wonderful interpretation. A soft reminder to join Bhagavad Gita recital daily at 6:30 a.m. and on Sundays at 7 a.m. Sorry. We will be seeing more of this in coming sessions. Now it's time for question and answers. I request those who want to ask questions to raise their hands and switch on their cameras and wait for their turn. Please make the questions precise so that more questions can be taken. Yeah, over to you, Didi.
Meena Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna, Meena ji. Pranam to you.
I enjoyed your interpretation very well, very nice. As you said, this chapter is very important also. I also go through it. But it is not from this chapter I'm going to ask you. There is one question lingering in my mind for the past 2 sessions also. Actually, Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. It's a conversation. Krishna wouldn't have divided it into the 18 chapters, or he would have given any name for that. But I noticed that. So who has done it?
Shri Krishna has not given. This is a very important thing we all should understand, that this started off, see, if you read these chapters from Dhritarashtra Vacha till the last shloka, everything you can read in one go. This is what Shri Krishna has spoken. He has not done this division of chapters. He didn't say, I am going to start the Sankhya Yoga. No. This division has been done by Bhagwan Veda Vyas for us. So this entire conversation he has heard, and he has figured out that this is very important. And when we are having, we start talking on one topic, then we move on to another topic, and there is a gradual flow. Like that, Bhagwan Veda Vyas identified that, okay, this much can be classified as Sankhya Yoga. Now from this, where he has started, see, sometimes, if you just, for example, I'm telling you, if you just look at the last shloka of the 10th chapter and the first shloka of the 11th chapter, there is a logical flow because it is a conversation. There is a logical flow. But this division has been made by Bhagwan Veda Vyas so that he knew in Kali Yuga, people are not going to have time to go through everything. They might only want to just directly jump to the bhakti. So he gave us Bhakti Yoga. So, but there are some who are learning Bhagavad Gita at a young age. They want to inculcate these Bhagavad Gita values of Bhagavad Gita and turn their karma into Karma Yoga. For them, he has coined the entire knowledge in one yoga, that is Karma Yoga. This division has been done by Bhagwan Veda Vyas for us to study all these things properly. This has not been done by Shri Krishna.
So Adi Shankaracharya has translated everything.
Yes. From there, Adi Shankaracharya has written a long bhashya, very nice bhashya he has written explaining these shlokas in further detail. And that he has written in Sanskrit.
Thank you so much, Devi.
Thank
you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Ravindra Bhaiya.
Pranam Bhaiya, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I wanted to know actually what is the Prana Shakti and the Chaitanya Shakti? Is it the same or it is different?
No. Chaitanya Shakti is a ounce of Paramatma. Prana is within our body. It is more closer to our body. Chaitanya Shakti is more closer to the form. They are connected, but we cannot say them completely distinct also. We will go into these details from the next shlokas. So if you see the third part of this entire chapter, which concentrates on the Prakriti and Purush, there this distinction will be a little more clearer. So we'll be covering up in the further shlokas.
Okay. We'll wait for the next session.
Yeah,
Another thing is that we know that Atma is the part of Paramatma, and Atma exists in all living beings. And whether the Atma is same in all living beings, or it is
Atma, very important question to look at it. Atma is a form of Paramatma. But what happens with this Atma? It has its own flavor, like derived from what? The sanskar that one has had. So I have also a Atma. Each individual here has a different Atma in them. The crux is Paramatma. But what has happened? I have done some actions in my past life, due to which a certain amount of, chemical reaction, how it will happen on something, that has happened, and it has taken slightly different from the other Atma. That other person has done a different type of activity, different action. He has been in a different environment. So the samskar that has happened on that particular Atma is different. So the Atma, the Mool Tattva is same. So if you take from water, you can make sharbat, You can add something to that water, turn it into milk solids. You add it, turn it into milk. So the tattva is same. It is a form of Paramatma, but what sanskar has happened over past all the births, that is distinguishing the different atmas among us. I hope.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Shivakumar ji.
Namaskar. My doubt is, without the order of Lord Shiva, even ant will not die. That is the proverb is there.
I
And second
not
thing,
able to hear you very clearly. Yeah, can you hold it little
without,
hard?
1 minute. Without, without, now I am audible.
Yeah.
Without order of Lord Shiva, not even ant or even mosquito will not die. Mosquito will bite you, then you will hit it, it will die. Or ant will bite you, you will hit it, it will die. Even that incident will happen only at the on passing of the order by Lord Shiva. Destruction is done in such a. And listen to me. Second thing is, you are saying while going through the Vishwarupa Darshan chapter, everything is inside the Lord Vishnu himself, or say Vishwarupa, Bhagavan ki andari, inside himself is everything is going on. Then where is the requirement? That means for everything there is a concern of the God himself. Bhagavan, Paramatma himself is doing everything in one way, you can say. In that case, where is the need for Janma and Punarjanma and again leaving to the discretion of Atmas to behave, to attain some flavors? Why
Now see, one very simple thing.
Why there should be a future Janma?
Why this? See, there is when we talk about why this, this entire world and why this creation destruction is happening. What is this entire thing? There is something like you have seen a child. Now, a child, if left in the room, open room, what he will do? Naturally, they'll go and play. No matter what you say, hey, beto, chup, sit here. What they will do? They'll get up, they'll start playing. Now, even if they don't have any toys, if there is some katori, chammach in the kitchen also, they'll come, they'll start playing. No matter where they go, they'll play. This behavior is called as Leela. It is uncontrollable, right? This is the very nature. Just like that, the very nature of Parabrahma, Paramatma is this cycle of death and destruction and creation. This kanti graseshna prava vishnucha. This is the nature. This is the leela of Paramatma. That this is going to happen continuously. Now, because it is a leela, we all are born. We are doing something, and buddhi, it is, if you remember the last time, Mahabhutanya Hankaro Buddhi Ravyaktamevacha, the shloka where out of this, when this entire thing was born, buddhi is also one element that has come. It is the Mahat Tattva. And from buddhi, all other things are originating. All this is a part of Leela, of a natural, you can say, behavior of the Parabrahma Tattva to create and destroy, to create and destroy. That is this natural behavior. So we have to understand how subtle we are, how insignificant we are. That we are a part of this creation. What human beings tend to believe that we are doing, we are the doers, we are the action, everything. It is not that. We are a part of some very big cosmos, and that is beyond our control. It is completely unstoppable Leela of this Paramatma. So that
is what I'm saying. Right?
Talking about
The creator is creating, creator is ordaining to do certain things. Here are we. Again, the flavor you are attached to Atma, you have done, like you are giving
Yeah,
example
because
of
now the creation is going to happen. Once the creation is going to happen, the 5 elements are going to mix.
creating itself. Instead of giving that description, without giving description, if it is created, that would have been this.
It is
This
a
incident will
it
not
is a
happen.
complete cycle. It is not like once you
Why
create
there
it.
should be a cycle? That is what I am asking. Why there should be a cycle of Janma and Punarjanma?
Why should be a
So you
cycle
are
of
telling, if you are attain the spiritual heights and if you are able to realize yourself,
yes,
you are
because
getting,
they
you are
are
attaining, the
two
Atma will
things.
go and merge with Paramatma, then your Punarjanma is being, it will not be there.
See, there is why you are asking why our body has to. There is something called kshar and akshar. Kshara is something which is always going to get destroyed. We fall in that category of kshara. Kshara means we are going to get destroyed. We fall in that category. Why it is there, that we really should not even be thinking, because again I'm telling, we are not akshara. We are going to get destroyed. If you ask me that why is the liquid flowing, like we cannot. So some you see the we don't start thinking about why the liquid is flowing. It is a part of the leela. We are kshara, means we are going to get destroyed. Right?
That
Now,
is right,
why?
madam. What is Leela? Why, when I am striving for attaining moksha, that is,
Why is the child playing?
my
Why cannot it
into
start giving a
Paramatma,
lecture? Answer one question for me. When the child like left in the kitchen, and why is it just playing? Why didn't it get up and start cooking? It is like that. There is a particular nature associated with it, isn't it? It is bound to do that. That is what is the meaning of Leela, means what? It is unstoppable. It is going to come naturally. That is a child, I can't expect it when it is the kitchen, there also it will play. Whether it is going to the dining room, there also he is going to play. No matter how many Naneshwari books I am going to keep, he is going to play with those books also. Why? Limited intellect. That is the nature of the child, to play. Now if I ask you, why the nature of the child is like, will you be able to explain beyond a certain limit? Now, see, everything cannot be like, we have to understand the limitations of our intellect, that ye child aisa kyun behave karta hai, there is no actual explanation for it. It is just nature. Like that, it is the nature of Paramatma, that the creation and destruction is going to happen. And this is not anything new. This has been happening from so many lakhs of years, but our limited intellect, we can't even think beyond 10 years. But if you see the Chatur Yogi, and if you just go through that entire calculation, you will be so boggled that that entire fear of death only goes. Okay, jo hoga so hoga. Aane how many lakhs of years? We are existing from lakhs and crores of years. We are going to remain in existence from lakhs and crores of years. It is like that. And why that? Because it is the Leela of Paramatma. That is how the Tattva is. There is no explanation for that Tattva. Just like there is no explanation for the behavior of the child. There is no explanation for this. Why does Tattva has to do that? That Tattva is only beyond our understanding. So with my limited intellect, this is what I can explain. But further, if you want, you can ask Kashu Bhaiya and Varnekar Kakaji and Kakiji and Sanjay Bhaiya for more. But this is what I have inferred from the pravachans of Swamiji and from. See, this can be a very unending argument, basically, because why this happens? Because we are very bookish. We think our books cover everything. Whatever our understanding, we should understand everything. This is what this Western education has taught us. Very bookish. Science, that elemental everything we have to know. No, it is not like that. There is something beyond science which we refuse to believe, and that is this. So this is going to be an unending thing. Yeah, this is knowledge. It has to come from our scriptures, and only when we study Bhagavad Gita in detail, these questions will not arise, because we start understanding how insignificant we are, and how insignificant the process of creation and destruction is. We are thinking, oh, it is created, oh, it is destroyed, Janma Mrityu. We are sitting in this session. There are these small insects. In this 1-2 hours of our interaction, so many insects are getting killed and born. In one day, so many generations of these insects will go. For those insects, we are like Brahma only, Brahmaji. That person will say, oh, if suppose, imagine these kidas, these insects, they're talking to their children and grandchildren. They'll say, this lady, she's like a Brahma Tattva only. Brahmaji who is sitting. For them, it is generations like that. For us, we will think from our grandfathers, forefathers, everything like that. But Brahmaji's life, we all know that is so many Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. That is one Brahmaji's day, and then we will not go into those calculations. That Brahma also has a life. That one Brahma, the Brahma also keeps changing. This is so vast. For that, we have to learn Bhagavad Gita. And then only we will understand that this process of creation, destruction, which we are giving so much importance to, it in itself is very, very insignificant. I hope that answers your question to a certain extent. Okay.
Dear Shastra. Kanchan Didi.
जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी।
Hey Krishna Didi, pranam.
दीदी यहाँ लिखा है ज्ञान ज्ञेय ज्ञान गम्यम, क्या केवल ज्ञान के द्वारा ही जाना जा सकता है?
हाँ, ज्ञान के द्वारा ही ज्ञाने ज्ञेय, it is the knowledge, it is the one which is knowable, and ज्ञान गम्यम, उसके द्वारा जाना जा सकता है। मतलब कैसे जाना जा सकता है? What she is saying is, how can we know the ज्ञान? By knowing what the characteristics of jnani we saw, no, those are the ways to reach that knowledge. How we can know? That is the means of reaching that knowledge. Those characteristics, you have to walk on that path, then only you will attain the knowledge. That is the meaning of that sentence. Okay.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna. Manjiri ji, pranam to you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Please unmute.
Yes. Just now you said regarding Tattva Gyan and Adhyatma Gyan. Both are important to achieve God. But I didn't understand that how to achieve God. I'm very much eager to know about how to reach God.
That is this entire process. Entire Vivechan I will have to repeat, Didi.
No. Only tell me that Adhyatma Gyan means knowing about myself.
I get your question.
And Tattva Gyan means what?
See, Adhyatma Jnana is knowledge of self, knowing about yourself. Tattva Jnana is the knowledge of your surroundings, how this world has originated, how everything has come into existence, what is going to happen to this world later. This is Tattva Jnana. Now, what I had told, where the place where these two knowledges converge, the knowledge of self and the knowledge of surroundings, all this knowledge together is Jnana. Now, what does it mean by this process of converging? You imagine, suppose this example Swamiji gives, it's very beautiful. If you take a flight from Delhi and you want to reach, say, Singapore, you will, start in one direction. One can directly fly from Delhi to Chennai and then reach Singapore, or someone can also take a longer route from here to Dubai, Paris, via America, cross the Pacific Ocean and reach. Both the planes are going in opposite direction, but they are going to converge at some point, right? Some point, at some place, this entire thing is converging. The knowledge of self and the knowledge of the world around them, it becomes one at one point of time. These two roots, how they are becoming one at one point of time. Just like that, whether you take this path, the path of Adhyatma Jnana or the path of Tattva Jnana, these two paths will...
Any one I can take.
Yes, both of them. Either one you take at one point, they both will become one. And that point is where you attain God.
Yes, thank you. I thought that both are different. No, understood. Thank you so much. Very nicely you explained. Pranam to you.
Pranam to you. I seek your blessing. Jai Shri Krishna. There are no further questions.
Questions over?
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you, Didi. Thank you, Didi. Thank you very much for clearing the doubts of our sadhakas. And on behalf of Geeta Parivar and myself, another high hand raise I'm seeing. Meera Prabhune.
Meera Didi, please start your video.
Jai Shri Krishna, Meera ji. Yes,
Can I talk in Marathi?
yeah, sure.
ते त्यांनी मगाशी विचारलं ना की असं हे म्हणजे धरायचं असं का प्रत्येकाची जन्म मृत्यू याची गरजच नाहीये. तर मला स्वतःला असं वाटतं की आपण एक मनुष्य जन्म आहे म्हणून हे आपल्याला सगळं कळतंय. म्हणजे आतापर्यंत सांगितल्यावर ना बाकीच्या प्राण्यांना कुणाला हे काही कळतच नाही की आपण काय करतोय किंवा काय नाही. आता एखादी गोष्ट साखर असेल तर ती आपण किती खायची काय घ्यायची हे आपण ठरवतो. जास्त खाल्ली की डायबेटीस होतं. त्यामुळे आपल्याला त्याच्यावरती वेगळे संस्कार येतात. त्यामुळे आपल्याला त्याचे कॉन्सिक्वेन्सेस वेगळे पडतात. त्यामुळे आपल्याला सुख दुःख त्याच्यामुळे वेगळं येतं. जो लिमिटेड खाईल त्याला तेवढा गोडवा येईल, त्याला त्याचा त्रास होणार नाही. तर हे संस्कार जे म्हणायचे ते हे असं मला वाटतं. म्हणजे आतापर्यंत जे मी ऐकलंय त्याच्यावर. त्यामुळे हे सगळे आपल्याला भोग किंवा जन्म मृत्यू हे त्याप्रमाणे येत जातं. असं बरोबर आहे का मी म्हणते ते?
बरोबर. It is correct. What you are saying, your interpretation, English, I'll reply in English. ते चालेल तुम्हाला?
हो.
So your understanding is correct. Ultimately, this and one very important thing that you mentioned, it's very important that only in human life we can understand all these things. Other yonis we are not even going to understand. We have to realize how important this birth is. We cannot just while away our time in all other activities. What you said is very important. Just like how we understand how much to eat and in what proportion to eat, similarly how much time to spend on all these worldly pleasures, all these things are equally important. Having an understanding of this is also a sanskar.
आणि ही सृष्टी आहे हे ऍश्युमेट आणि मग त्याच्यामध्ये हे सगळं चालणार आहेच आहे. असंच आहे ना ते? धन्यवाद.
सृष्टी आहे आणि सृष्टी इज अ व्हेरी स्मॉल थिंग. सृष्टीच्या बियॉन्ड पण खूप आहे. सो बियॉन्ड सृष्टी वॉट एव्हर इज ऑल्सो देअर. सो सृष्टी इज अ व्हेरी पार्ट ऑफ ऑल दॅट इज ऑलरेडी हॅपनिंग. सो वी आर अ पार्ट ऑफ अ व्हेरी स्मॉल पार्ट ऑफ अ व्हेरी बिग कॉस्मॉस दॅट इज इन functioning around us. Very nice.
Yeah. Okay. So, on behalf of Geeta Parivar and myself, I extend sincere thanks to the technical team consisting of Rashmi Matiji and all those who have been at the backstage for the relentless and efficient efforts in making the session a great success. May I take this opportunity to thank all those who attended this session. Please do continue Geeta Sadhana and attend these sessions to enrich your spiritual knowledge. I also request all those who are not giving any seva in the Parivar to give some seva as per their ability. Please do watch Geeta Sevi program in YouTube to know the various kinds of seva. Now, I request Pavana ji from Hyderabad for Prarthana. Didi is a BTech homemaker. She is giving seva as technical assistant and co-trainer. Didi joined Geeta Parivar in February 2023. So as soon as just February 23, and she is a trainer, she is a tech. So that's how people should give seva, okay? Let's give a clap to. That's great. It's a motivating factor. Yeah. And
thank you, Didi. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Yeah.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bhavana Didi, please, yeah, start your prayer.
Yogesham Sachidanandam Vasudevam Vrajapriyam Dharma Samsthapakam Veeram Krishna Vande Jagadguru Shri Krishna Vande Jagadguru. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. And thank you, Didi, for that sweet rendition. Now it's time for Hanuman Chalisa recital. I request all of you to be there to seek the blessings of Hanumanji. Yeah, Didi, please. Rashmi Didi? Yeah.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनौ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसतिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संहारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
Thank you all for being there. May our week ahead be brighter and more beautiful. We shall see you back